Hello and welcome back for part 32 of my Ability and MP Nodes Only challenge. Here we are fighting Evrae Altana, which is a very interesting, cool battle in this challenge. I was hoping that picking up the Haste shield for Titus from Wendigo would make this a lot less luck reliant than in the first time I played through the challenge, but unfortunately I still need a lot to go my way to be able to win this. And so I've actually decided to open the locks in the first two areas and fight Altana through the grate where she can't counterattack us, basically. You don't really want to do this because this means we miss out on the rematch weapon for Waka with Evade and Counter, which is obviously a very overpowered weapon ability. But I feel like I've used that weapon pretty extensively in No Sphere Grid games, and with the extra options you have in this challenge with the abilities of characters from all over the Sphere Grid, I kind of like the idea of not just having that get out of jail free card to, you know, get through random encounters or trivialize some random encounters. So we'll see. Maybe I'm trying to just, you know, put a silver lining on a cloud there, but I think we can manage without the rematch. We can get Evade and Counter later on for Titus and Kamari anyway. Okay, so here's the start of the proper battle, I guess. We need a bit of luck still, especially with the targeting of this first Stone Gaze. So I've switched Waka to have Stone Ward, and I really want him to be the target. We need everything else to go right if Riku gets hit, and it's instantly game over if Titus gets hit. So let's open up here with a slow. That hit, that's good. And yeah, Evrae can't counterattack through the grate. Although funnily enough, Evrae does not counterattack slow anyway. The counterattack's only used on HP damaging attacks, so that message is kind of funny. Right, now I want Titus to have a turn as soon as possible after Altana's. If everything goes right here, we only see one turn from the boss in the whole battle. And so I'm going to get Riku under Haste. And Riku can start stacking up luck. Each stack of luck only increases crit chance by 1%, but it's better than nothing. I'm not allowing spare change in this challenge unless absolutely necessary, and it would obviously help in this fight, but it isn't necessary. And it lets me use a pretty cool strat. So yeah, we're not spare changing. Waka can just go ahead and start attacking. Okay, so change weapon puts my turn just before the boss, which is not what I want. So Titus has time for a rank 2 action here. So let's go for a cheer. And I'm going to actually copycat a cheer here. Riku's MP is not really going to be the limitation. I will be copycatting slow in the fight, but yeah, it's going to be Titus's MP that's the limitation. So it seems kind of efficient, or inefficient, sorry, to like waste a copycat on just a cheer, but I think it actually does make sense. Alright, and that is the target we wanted for Stone Gaze. So with Stone Ward, Waka has the 50% petrification resistance, so he's never going to die from that. There's no chance of him dying from the HP damage. So now the problem here is that we can't really let Altana have another turn because we're really not set up to survive the photon spray damage. If I was allowing customization, what you can do is customize auto shell and use auto shell plus SOS regen to kind of sustain through the battle. But yeah, without customization, we really can't deal with more attacks. So the trick is to stop Altana getting more turns. I could use delay attack and delay buster and copycat those, but that would not work well enough. the delays from those abilities is just based off of Altana's tick speed, and it doesn't let you like build up anywhere near enough of a, enough time to actually win the battle with physical attacks. So instead, the strat is to exploit the way that Haste and Slow interact with Zombie. So because Altana is a zombie, casting Haste on her will actually multiply the number of ticks before her next turn by a factor of 1.5 instead of 0.5, which is the case for like non-zombies. So by casting Haste and then Slow, like the Slow will then double the number of ticks before Altana's next turn. And you'll see here that I'm able to build up like an enormous tick delay, basically. And that is how we're able to win the fight. So I want Riku set up to be able to copycat if Tidus misses the next Slow, but she can afford to get a couple of uses of luck in beforehand. That's luck number 2. Yep, and she can do one more. Okay, so you can see right now there's 2 turns of Tidus plus a few ticks before the next boss turn. So that's something like, 47, 48 ticks. And if I connect with this Slow, which sadly I didn't. Okay, come on Riku, need this to work. It did, okay. Now you see there is a lot longer. So we have 1, 2, 3 Tidus turns plus change. So that's like 70 ticks or so. So in other words, Tidus is fast enough that slow, haste, slow on Altana builds up a larger and larger tick delay. And you'll see that even more here because this haste is gonna, almost take her off the bottom of the turn bar. Alright, let's finish getting luck stacked up. Okay, so we want to get slow with Tidus, and so I'll just do a dummy weapon switch with Riku in case I need to copycat the slow again. Which I do. Okay, but that connected. Nice. So now Altana is off the bottom of the turn bar. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a complication here, which is that there's a cap on how big the delay before Altana's next turn can be. I'm not completely sure how it works. This is not something that's like documented anywhere in the game, obviously. But I think it's 255 ticks based on my testing. So what that means is, on the one hand, I want to get big extra delays down with Tidus. So I don't want to wait too long until her turn is coming up too soon, because then that 1.5 times or 2 times factor is just not going to be that big. On the other hand, if I cast Haste and Slow like when there's already a large tick delay, a lot of the extra benefit of that next Haste or Slow is kind of lost in the delay cap. I hope that makes sense. So I want to kind of estimate roughly how long we have until Altana's next turn here. I'm pretty sure that because I missed on... I dropped a few ticks from having to copycat the slow from the slows that missed. And just from my testing, I mean, the pacing of the fight, like with the opening we got, kind of plays out the same way. So I'm pretty sure that if I cast one more haste, we'll be pretty... Yeah, so I think that'll get us pretty close to the 250 or 255 tick delay cap, and then I'll just have to count ticks from that point and time the future slows and haste from there. Okay, so Riku can go ahead and attack here. I'll have her copycat cheer, but Tidus' next turn is haste and it doesn't do anything to copycat that. I do want to get Whacker under haste, but sadly you don't get to change the target for the copycat. Okay, so let's call this a 250 tick delay. One of the annoying things about this fight is that because Altana's off the bottom of the turn bar, I actually lose track of how many ticks the delay actually is. In other words, there are too many of my character's turns. So that's why, yeah, I have to have some idea in my head. So let's call that 250 ticks. So we definitely want to be copycatting Cheer, but we can fit in an attack before that. Okay, so now let's say we're down 250 ticks minus the 28 from Tidus's, like the recovery off Tidus casting Haste. So call that 222. So if I Cheer, that's another 14, so that's down to 208. And copycat Cheer. That's Cheer number 4. And let's see, now I'm down to right, so now it's 208, and this is going to be minus another 14, so that's 194. And when I get down to 170, that's when I want to get the next haste in to maximize its like to get the maximum benefit from the tick delay. Alright, so all 5 cheers are down. I do want to get haste on Whacker, and I think I can afford to do that before I cast the next slow. So yeah, we'll attack here with Riku. Yeah, don't want to cast a redundant haste on the boss. Now it kind of gets worse because Whacker takes up more slots on the turn bar, but that's okay. I think I have a reasonable idea of how the timing's going. Nice crit. So now, that timing's really unfortunate. It's not the end of the world. We've built up a large enough tick delay that one missed slow is not going to be game over, but it's too bad I can't have Riku's turn a little sooner after Tidus is here. But sadly I can't, so make the most of it and just get an attack in. Yeah, Altana's still not showing up on the bar. I knew she wouldn't. I didn't even need to scroll down there. Alright, another miss. We don't love to see that. And another miss. Oof. Yeah, now Riku actually is running a bit low on MP. Oh no, don't do this to me, game. Okay, we finally landed the slow there. We still have time here. But we dropped... let's see. If I gotten the first slow to hit, the delay would be back up around 250 ticks, but we missed once and then an extra few ticks from Riku's turn afterwards. So call that 25 ticks dropped. So I've got... Yeah, so on Tidus's next turn, I've got about 220... I think I can fit in a weapon switch, then 2 attacks with Tidus before I have to do the next haste. I definitely do want to get the Brotherhood equipped here for the extra damage. So I'm definitely making 1 attack with Tidus. Oh, that's a nice crit. Yeah, no Altana on the turn bar yet, but sadly that doesn't give me too much information. Yeah, so those last 2 attacks plus the weapon switch is 49 ticks. And because of the turn I lost from the slow, I think that takes me roughly down from 250 to about 170, which is around when I want to be getting this haste in. The exact timing for this with the tick cap, or the tick delay cap I was mentioning before, is not like too important. The fact that I have 3 character slots alive here makes me kind of optimistic that I should have enough time to win, unless I really get unlucky with losing the coin flips on the slow. So now the delay is set back to about 250 ticks, and now I can attack a bunch of times with Tidus before it's time to get the next slow in. So let's say we went up to 250 after the haste. We've got 28 ticks now from the recovery from the haste. So that puts us down to 222. And I want to cast the slow when I'm at about 120. So I can make 5 attacks here with Titus, I believe. So there's number 2. Nice. Number 3. Number 4. Okay, now Altana's on the turn bar, so I might have gotten that slightly wrong. Let's just count this. So let's count the Titus faces before the boss turn. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oof, only 4. Okay, I did kind of mess this up. So I wasn't as close to the tick delay cap as I thought, which means I've sort of been... the extra delay has not been as efficient as it could be. So we definitely want to try another slow here. Oh, come on, Riku. Okay, thank goodness. But that only takes us to about a 200 tick delay. So I think I want to get another haste in right now. We can't do any more copycatting with Riku. I'm really surprised that she ran out of MP actually. That never happened in my testing, but that's okay. Still have more than half the HP to go, which is a bit of a problem. So I'm going to make 1 attack here. No, hold on. No, I don't think I want to make any attacks here because we were under 100 ticks before I cast the slow. So that would put me up to about 200, and then the recovery from that attack would put me pretty close to where haste is getting the most bang for its buck, if you like. So let's get this haste in, then take 4 or 5 attacks with Titus, and then go for the last slow. You can kind of imagine how in the first area, like even with Evrae being under darkness from Darkbuster, eventually like the chances of characters getting hit after, 10, 20, 30 attacks is just high enough that it's super, it just adds an extra huge luck component to the fight. So that's the second attack from Titus. Come on guys, crit. Still no Altana on the turn bar. That's good, it means I haven't miscalculated things too badly. I'm getting there HP wise. Nice. Nice, okay. Let's go for the last slow. Ah, it missed, okay. I went for that, if anything, slightly too early, thinking if it did miss, we'd have one more attempt where we'd still get almost the maximum extra mileage out of the slow. We've missed quite a few slows this fight. I don't think we got super lucky. Okay, that connected. So maybe that is just enough time to do it. Alright, all out attack time. Ooh, no boss turn yet. I think we've got him. Or her. Nice. Yep. Awesome. Okay, that last bit of HP went a lot faster than I thought it would. So there you have it. Definitely my favorite Final Fantasy X strategy I've come up with. Sadly, it doesn't really work in other situations. I did think about Braska's final Aeon with this strat, but the problem there is that even though he's vulnerable to zombie, he isn't affected by delay. So you can't cheese any kind of tick delay out of him whatsoever, either with haste or slow. So yeah, it's just a non-starter, sadly. But yeah, it's a pretty intense fight. We'll see how I get on without the rematch. Wakka's learned Daredevil, okay. Yeah, and this is going to be the last attack. And you can see Altana's turn has just come in at the bottom. So, I mean, Titus is down to 0 MP, Riku only has 9 left, but yeah, the strat does work. It's too bad it's not a little more consistent and that we missed out on the rematch and stuff, but yeah. Hopefully enjoy the fight, and I'll be back with the high bridge.